Hello and welcome back to Demure Soul Blue. I hope you guys have been having an amazing day, and today's topic is all about fearful avoidance and how we keep on betraying ourselves. This will resonate not only with people who have fearful avoidant attachment, but this is something that's gonna resonate with a lot of you because betraying ourselves on a regular basis, on a regular day to day basis, is so normal for us that we don't even realize that we are betraying ourselves. However, so what is fearful avoidant attachment? Fearful avoidant attachment is basically craving for intimacy, but at the same time fearing intimacy. You want it, but you don't want it. You have it, but you'll just like let it go because you're like, oh my god, how do I have it? I don't want it. It is a push and pull strategy that goes on, that keeps on happening in your life. Especially for people who grew up in a household, in an environment, where they were so scared. They were always looking out for that one caregiver of whom they were so scared. Looking out for their responses, looking out how they would think, looking out that, whether they are going to be fine or not. If you grew up in an environment which was very hostile and you got either too much love, like love bombing, or you just got nothing at all, complete ignorance, then you will be a person who will keep on, looking for validation in other people, looking for validation in other authority figures. But at the same time, once you get that validation, you will be like, this is scary. Even if I'm validated by you, even if I feel good about myself right now by being validated by you, but this validation is the core of what is going to scare you, is the core of what is going to bring in the fear in you. So basically, what happens in this kind of a attachment style is that you seek, you go out, you meet people, you are very happy, you think, oh my god, this is the one, or this is the right job, this is what I want. You literally look at the perks, you read the description, and you go like, yeah, this resonates with me, why not, I would love to do it. But once you start doing it, you realize you don't want it because you're so scared inside, not only because of your distorted people pleasing nature where you're finding validation from outside sources, but also because you are scared from within that you cannot hold on to this kind of happiness in your life. Something or the other will ruin it. And when you have this kind of a thinking, you just keep on betraying yourself. Even though you know that you want certain things, even though you know that you want that intimacy, that love, that job, that opportunity, you want that, you crave it. But somehow, something you do on your own self, like by your own self, be it your thoughts, be it your own reasoning, be it anything, mostly it is your own reasoning which comes out of your belief system, which leads you to be like, which is influenced by fear, right? Somewhere or the other, you were seeking validation from this particular situation because you were scared that you won't have it, right? And when you get it, you still live in that fear. You're like, how did I have it? Like, how did I get it? Like, how is that even possible? And you let it go. You just let it go because you're like, no, I can't hold on to it. The trigger points for a fearful avoidant person is honestly anything. Because even when you're dating, even when you're doing stuff, even when you're like, in your own zone, you have everything that you want, you will sabotage yourself because you cannot believe you deserve all of it. Because from childhood, you never believed you deserved the love because love bombing happened in phases. And there were phases of being ignored. And then there were phases of taking on responsibility of the emotions of your caregivers, of the responses of your caregivers, because you thought that, since they are not very good at handling their own anxiety and they are not very good at handling their own reactions, I will have to step up and I will have to look out for what they think, for how they react, for how they respond. And you take this strategy out in everywhere in your life, like literally everywhere in your life. And it is very normal for a person to have different kind of attachment styles in their life. Like in the very first part of this series, I told you that I have a fearful avoidant attachment in my career, in my with money. I have an anxious attachment style in relationships, and I have a avoidant attachment style with my, like, dismissive avoidant attachment style with my caregivers. I have, and to understand this thing, honestly, it changed my life because I understood why I behaved the way I did, why certain fears came to me every time when I got into a situation, or why I would always avoid what was right in front of me. Because at the end of the day, I was not ready. I was not, honestly, yeah, I was not ready. I did not have the knowledge that I can accept myself for who I am. And the best bit about accepting yourself for who you are is you stop betraying yourself. When you go beyond your own comfort zone, to consider people, to think about them, to take certain decisions that you don't want to, but you still do because what will happen? How does it matter? It is making them happy. No, let's just do it. If you think like this, you betray yourself. You betray yourself so frequently that it has become natural for you. And when somebody points that out, that you need to have stronger boundaries, you get triggered. You're like, I was thinking about you. I took this step because I thought it would make you feel good. Hold on, honey. Like, literally, hold on at this very thought. Why are you operating from a point where you are making decisions in your life, about your life, based on how others are going to be happy or what is going to make others happy? You are betraying yourself. And for fearful avoidant, this is very natural, because you overstep your boundary to receive the intimacy you crave, because you believe that you won't get it otherwise. And then once you get it, you betray yourself by not giving it a chance, by not embracing the experience, because you're too scared to accept that you can have something so amazing, you can have something so successful, you can create something so successful. And every time you want to do something, for example, you want to take up that book and read, or you want to go up to a person and talk, but you don't do it because you go like, first of all, reading a book is just going to take so much time. Let me do something else and I'll get back to it. That is not you. That is your protection mechanism, your ego telling you that if you read that book, you will have to face a lot of things about yourself that you might not be ready to face. You might not want to face, or your ego would not want for you to face it, because it brings in uncomfort, that uncomfortable feeling, that irritation, that oh my god, I was just leading the life, I was comfortable with it, why do I have to change my way? Honey, realize this, that betraying yourself will only keep putting you back into situations that you don't want to be in. Betraying yourself, betraying your boundaries, overstepping your boundaries, going beyond what you would have done for a person or for a situation, is you betraying yourself. It is you telling yourself that you are not good enough, therefore you have to keep on proving who you are, your worth to others, in order to feel good enough to be alive on planet Earth. Stop doing it. And when you see yourself pushing and pulling, your triggers are merely not having something and having something. That's it. That is your trigger. It is as simple as that. Like, in a layman's language, if anybody has to tell you your triggers, if somebody is getting too over cuddly or over comfortable with you, if they are getting comfortable with you, which makes you feel that, oh my god, why are you getting so uncomfortable? I did nothing for you to be this this comfortable with me. Sorry, comfortable. You get uncomfortable that they are getting too comfortable. Ask yourself why. Why are you running away from this connection? Why do you not want to be here? What is the reason? And honey, like honestly, whenever you see yourself jumping, you guys are very impulsive, honestly, because I too know we are way too impulsive. We are way too, like, we live in our head so much, that overthinking that we do continuously about not having something, not having something, not having something, and then when we actually get the thing, we see that, you know what, this is something we don't want, because we have been telling ourselves over and over that, we don't have it, we don't have it, we don't have it. Therefore our entire system gets used to not having it, and when once it really comes to us, we really experience it, we feel ourselves not good enough to experience it, because we already believe that we are not to have it, because we kept on thinking that we don't have it, we don't have it, we don't have it, and kept on giving reasons as to why don't we have it, right? Now if you want to get over this fearful avoidant connection of yours, you have to sit with yourself. You have to, cancel certain plans with certain people to spend time with yourself. You have to put yourself first. You have to put yourself on the pedestal. You have to remember that putting other people on pedestal is not really going to help you, like overthinking what they are going to do, how they are going to perceive you, how things are going to happen. Honestly, that's not your job, because they are going to be doing what they want to do, they are going to be reacting the way they want to react. But what are you doing about your reactions? What are you doing about your plan? What are you doing about your own self? What are you doing about your dreams? They are not thinking about, oh my god, is she working on her dreams? Oh my god, is she doing her things? Oh my god, is she really happy? Oh my god. Nobody is obsessed with you. And if people are obsessed with you, and they are like, how is she doing it, like in a negative way, you don't want that energy around you. Why would you want anything that pulls you down, like makes you, suppresses you into a box? Like, why do you want that? Until and unless you suppress yourself, you suppress your emotions, you suppress bits of you that you know are so powerful, if somebody else listens to it, they might get triggered. If you're suppressing all of it, you're not serving yourself, you're serving others, and you are honestly behaving like a slave. Slavery came to an end. It's over. It was over way back. Stop being, like, literally stop being a slave to others' perceptions. Stop being a slave to others' reactions, and stop being a slave to others' responses. It is not your duty. And it is so, like, when you betray yourself, you don't naturally recognize that you're betraying yourself. It takes a bit of time, because you have to put in that conscious effort of realizing where you are betraying yourself, realizing why you are betraying yourself. And for fearful avoidance, you guys betray yourself almost every decision that you make in your life, because you're not making those decisions for you. You are making those decisions first of all out of fears instilled in you through your past experiences, through your past learnings, through those societal norms. And honestly, I'm going to make a video as to how these past experiences actually come to fruition. That's another topic. But for today, right now, the point here is that you create your life. If you're creating your future based on what has happened on the past, your past will keep on repeating. You will keep on repeating those mistakes. You will keep on repeating those painful memories, those hurtful situations, those heart, gut wrecking, gut wrenching situations. You will keep on creating them, because you have not sat down and asked yourself what you went through, what your perception was, what your emotions were, and then from a third perspective talk to yourself that, these were emotions that came from this point, and it's okay, it's nothing to be shameful about. But at the same time, I don't want to take this forward with me. There is no need for this to protect me any longer, because it is redundant. What I am right now, what you are right now in this situation, will never match what you were even 2 days back, because you learn new things every day. You're learning, you're a work in progress, you are building yourself. Stop believing others. Stop looking at yourself from others' lenses. Start defining what fulfills you. Start defining your standards. start defining them and holding them up, because the more you hold them up, you'll see how magic happens. You find people who hold them up too, you find friends who hold them up too. You literally are surrounded by people who actually want to be with you and help you through that. You just have to take that first step of, from your past to your present. Stop living in your past. Stop recreating situations in your head which happened in the past. If you want to create anything in your head, start creating your future in your head, what you want in your future, what you want in this moment. Until and unless you figure out what you want, until and unless you figure yourself out, you will always keep on hitting this block, hitting this invisible wall, which feels like you can never go beyond, because you have put that wall for yourself. Nobody else has. Oh my god. Nobody else has. It is only you who has put that kind of a wall for yourself, because you don't believe that you can have better, or you are better, or you are enough. So I have seen a lot of fearful avoidant people in relationships where they are so happy in the relationship, they are so secure, like nothing is going wrong, everything is hunky dory, things are going fine. But they create situations, they end up creating fights, they end up creating situations that sabotage that happiness of theirs, that peace of theirs, because they have never learned to be in that peace, because they have never learned to enjoy that peace, enjoy that love. And honey, you are human. You are supposed to go through every human emotion. You are supposed to feel everything, because you are a human being. Stop asking, why am I feeling so broke? I don't want to feel this. Start asking yourself, why do I feel so unworthy of being sad? Why do I feel so unworthy of being angry? Why do I feel broke when I am surrounded by everything that I want, everything that I need? And honestly, you will realize that you are surrounded by everything that you need in this moment, in this particular point. Once you start thanking the things that you already have, once you start showing gratitude for the things that you already have. I mean, if you don't show gratitude for what you already have got, why would you ever go on to the next thing or get the next best thing? Because you are not even thankful of what you already manifested or what you already have in your life. I mean, if you're not thankful, if you're not in that energy of being content that yes, I have it, I would not want it any other way, and I'm really, really happy for everything that I've got, for everything the way it came, even the pain, even the toxic relationships, even the heartbreaks. Like literally, if you're not showing your own self gratitude, if you're not showing universe that you're grateful, why would you get it? Have it, like your caregivers might have taught you this, that until and unless you say thank you for what we've got you, we won't get you any more things. Or until and unless you show us that you're really grateful for getting this gift, we will not really give you more gifts, because we don't know if it is making you happy or not. You see, they don't know if it is making you happy or not, irrespective of whatever you might have done. If the source, if the universe, if the person in front feels that you are not grateful for having what you have, you are not grateful for having your own self, you will never end up receiving what you truly deserve. Because once you start being grateful for the things you already have in your life, you will know truly as to what you desire in your life. And that's really beautiful. All of it used to seem so annoying to me, when I started off my healing journey. saying thank you to everything was like, why do I need to do this? Huh? Why do I need to make it known to people that I'm thankful when they already know how happy it is making me by my reactions? Can't they see that? Why do you want people to predict you? Why do you want to be predictable? I don't get it. Isn't being a mystery fun for you? Isn't being unpredictable just as interesting and as, energizing for you? Why do you want just anybody to know what you want, what you are feeling, what you are, how you are? If you don't want to predict other people, then why do you want other people to predict you? If you don't want to predict their emotions, if you want them to be really expressive about what they are feeling, how they are feeling, what they feel, why aren't you doing the same thing with them? Why aren't you showing that to them? Be it people, be it the universe, be it anybody. Why are you always taking that step that diminishes you? You betray yourself every time you feel small. Every time you feel you're playing small for anybody or anything, you are betraying yourself. Stop playing small. You know why you're here. You know what you want. And honestly, babies, when you have fearful avoidant attachment, nobody can make you feel happy, or nothing will honestly last, because your attachment style won't let anything last. You won't let that happiness stay, you won't let that love stay. And on the flip side of it, it is good because you won't let that sadness stay, you won't let that anger stay, you won't let that resentment stay. So take the good things out of this and shift into a more secure attachment style. Put up your boundaries. Stop playing small. Nobody wants you to play small, especially your own self. You don't want to play small. You want to know who you are? Do the work. Do the work with yourself. Try to recognize yourself. And the ways by which you can actually overcome this fearful avoidant attachment is through journaling, meditation, and honestly, questions. Inner monologue, like when you have that inner critique going all haywire and crazy on you, showing you why you don't deserve it, flip the question. Ask it, why? Why do I feel I don't deserve it? Why do I think I don't want it? Why do I think this won't last? What are the reasons? Where are they coming from? And mostly the answer will be they are coming from a societal belief, or a belief that you have built over time because of your negative past experiences. And honestly, those past experiences will boil down to your childhood. That 0 to 7 years gap, that is where most of the trauma learnings were taken, and then the experiences were created. So start making proof, start giving yourself proof of otherwise, so that you can actually become the person you want to become, right? So with this, the attachment style, you can say, series has come to an end. I have covered the 3 attachment styles. A secure attachment style, the 4th attachment style, it is something that I'm helping you build throughout all of my videos. So I won't be making an exclusive, you can say, video on it, but yes, I will be talking about it in the coming videos, and I will be telling you how a secure attachment is built. But for now, the anxious, dismissive avoidant, and fearful avoidant attachment styles, I hope you guys are clear. If there is any doubt, please drop a comment. Let me help you out. And do let me know how you found the episode, how you found the message. I really hope it resonates with you. It reaches to the people who need it, like so bad right now. And yeah, subscribe and like. And do follow me on Instagram so that I can know who all I'm helping and how much I'm helping. I would love that. Thank you so much, lovelies.